Kim here, homeschooling mom 2-4 and chaos coordinator since 2009. I'm going to show you my process of making bone broth.
While editing this, I noticed that I said the word bone quite a few times, so I'm going to do what I did in college and have a running total of how many times I say it.
Chicken bone broth. I feel like a dog at the dinner table and I tell everybody, I want your bones, give me your bones, put a plate. Bones, 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 bones. So we keep all the bones. When my husband makes chicken wings or when we have a full roast chicken, we like to buy our chicken with bone on for this very purpose. I've gotten it down to a science. The one thing that I absolutely love is I have my 8-quart. It's not an Instapot, it's the Ninja brand, and I like it.
Editor Kim here. Incorrect. I love it. It is my favorite appliance in the kitchen. I use it at least once every day. If I were on a desert island and I could only have one kitchen appliance with me, that would be the one.
I'll leave a link below. 8-quart pressure cooker is what you need. You could also just do it in a big stock pot, just it's going to take longer. Here are my bones from several meals worth, and I'm going to cover it with water. First step is to just put it in the pressure cooker for a few hours. By the way, these were frozen. We just put them in a plastic bag in the freezer and I just dump them all in. Okay, so the goal here is we're going to cook down the bones so much that we get all of the nutrition in the bones itself. And then we're going to add some other things for flavoring. Just realized I don't have any celery, so it's just going to be carrots and onions this time. And I'm going to just barely cover it, and then I'm going to cook it so I can crush the bones. About 4 hours later now, all the bones, we do 2 hours, we do 3 hours. I am crushing a couple of these things from Pampered Chef. Stop, you're going to break that. The bones are already pretty brittle. The bones are pretty soft right now.
Pop quiz. What was John asking for in the background there? Comment below and then look at the pinned comment for the answer.
And then I'm going to turn it on again for another hour, hour and a half. So I have added, I think, 5 full carrots just peeled and cut off the ends. I did have a little bit of celery, and I would just add a whole thing of garlic in, but I don't have a whole head of garlic, so I threw in a couple tablespoons of this. I'm going to put this on for, I'm going to do an hour and a half. Okay, next step. So it's been about an hour and a half later. Yes! I strain this twice. I do it through a big colander. I have a metal one. I strain it through a fine mesh strainer. It's OXO brand before I put it into jars. This next part, as you can see here, I have all the carrots and bones, all that goodness, and the soup is below. There's still a lot of juice and goodness in here, so I want to squeeze that out before I do the fine mesh strainer back in the container. I just have my metal colander. This is another pot that I have from college even. I think it was Walmart years ago. And I'm just going to push this on it and push down and get all the juice I possibly can. But here's the thing, the leverage, that's why the stool is here. I have done this every single time, and I just push down all of that. And if I even hold it down, you can see I'm getting lots of juices out. So getting every last little bit that I can. First of all, I have to show this. Look at this. This is the bone, and it's just mush. And all that good collagen. Anyway, the whole stock pot full of bones and vegetables, and this is what's left of it. It's all squished down. And then I poured from the big pot over this mesh, so now it's back into that original pot again. Beautiful bone broth.
22 times.
I'm gonna scoop that now into some mason jars. I finished up here. Real quick, I want to talk about the type of jars I use. So the ones I use are ball, and they're wide mouth. Bought them about 2 years ago when they were much more readily available and cheaper. I use the wide mouth ones because I find it easier to, when you defrost and dump out things. And then also you can get some that are smooth sided, or you can get some that have more of the design. And we have found that these, the ones with the etched designs, hold up better in the freezer. And I use it in big jars because I generally add it to soups. You can also put it in an ice cube tray. This worked out perfectly. I got exactly 18 cups, which is about 4.5 quarts. If I have a little extra, I will make some ice cubes, so when we have soup and the kids throw an ice cube in, then it doesn't dilute the soup. Those are going to go in the freezer, but these are really hot. As my friend used to say, center of the sun hot. For the food sciencey part of things, you don't want to leave them out too long because this is the ripest material for bacterial growth. So it's kind of a precarious game of when do you put them in the fridge and then when do they get transferred to the freezer? Because if you put them in the fridge this hot, it'll either one, shatter the shelf that you put it on if it's glass because of the heat and then the cold, or it'll heat up your whole fridge and everything in the fridge will be very warm. So here I have them all spaced apart just a little bit. I'm going to leave them out for maybe an hour. I have these plastic lids. I'm just going to set it on there. And then before I go to bed, I will put them in the fridge, and in the morning, I will put them in the freezer. One thing that's nice if you live in a cold area, in the winter, it's really nice because I can just stick them out with the lids on, because animals, setting them outside on a towel or on a rug and just let them freeze overnight. Right now, it's not quite cold enough for that, so I'm going to set them here in the kitchen and move them to the fridge in about an hour, and then in the freezer in the morning. So there you go. And you can also see here, there's a little bit of fat on here sometimes, especially if it's real fatty. I'll section it out with a turkey baster, but this all looks pretty good. So I'm happy with what I got. Next to breast milk, this is liquid gold, the second liquid gold. It's good stuff, tastes great. Oh, and one last thing I forgot. I will be putting a hefty pinch of kosher salt in each and stir it up. Okay, it's the next morning. Here's a jar. You look at all that cloudy, look at that. All that cloudy goodness in there. If I shake it, it's completely gelatinized. It's good stuff. Remember, it's okay to make mistakes. The important part is to learn from them. God bless.